Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this file. What this basically is all the screen backgrounds for the charged up template are going to be found in this separate file. If I were to put them into each um, aspect ratio or each file, the file would be really big, and it actually I wouldn't be able to load it on my website. So I had to keep each file down to under 100 or under 1 gigabyte. So I put this in a separate file. It's also going to keep that layer from being too cluttered in the actual template itself. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to copy and paste into the charged up template. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. Again, each one of these is going to be a screen background that you can apply to the charged up template, so you can kind of change the sport or the overall look. Some of them are sport specific. Some of them are more generic that you can use for any sport. So we're going to take a look here. So first of all, we have I'm going to collapse that layer here. We're going to turn that off. We have balls and elements, and I'll go over that in a minute. And then we have the iPhone screen backgrounds right there. So we're going to turn that on. We're going to open that up, and we're going to have the American flag. Okay, we got one version of it. We have the second version of it. Again, you can use these, or you can discard them, or you can use them for other templates that you have too if you want to do a mashup of some sort. Um, One thing to note, if they are grouped, typically they have a color mask. So we got basketball, all right, and we have a color mask over the free throw line or the key or whatever you want to call that. So turn that off and on. You can just simply change the color by going here and change it to whatever color you want. Pretty basic. Okay. Now you'll notice here, and you'll notice this actually on a couple of these, that they are kind of offset from the top. That's because, and we'll see that see it in a second. It's because the top of the iPhone, there's a little lip that comes down at the top too. So I have these a little bit lower than the top. So we're going to turn that off. Chalkboard. Oh, another thing too is I have these in alphabetical order, so it makes it a little bit makes it a little bit easier for you to go through these and find what you're looking for. So we have chalkboard, which is basically a generic texture that you can use for multiple things. You can add a color mask to it if you want as well. The cheer banner. Okay, same thing. We have a color mask, and we can go to whatever color we want. Okay, looks pretty nice. Okay. And you can add whatever elements you want to. You can add a logo back there. You can add whatever you want. This is just the base file for it. So football is going to have a couple. And we're going to open up football. It's got this one here. It has that one there. That one there. And again, if you want to, and I'm going to show you how the vector mask works. It's pretty cool. If you want to use different backgrounds that you might have from one of my other templates or another template from someone else and do a complete mashup, you can. These are just the ones that are going to be available in this file. So that's what we have for football. Golf. All right, pretty cool one there. The hanging banner one, let me show you that real quick. Okay, so the hanging banner one, it's a pretty neat one. So we're going to turn off these color masks here real quick. So it's basically gray, but then when you add the color masks to it, then you can go ahead and change the color to whatever you want. I'm going to actually change that to a deeper red. Let me go here. Okay. All right. So one thing you can do here, and let me show you how to adjust that. We're going to change this to a gold. We're going to change this to more of a red. Okay. So so that's how you change the color. It's pretty simple. They're just color masks over the gray layer. Now, one thing you can do, and let me show you here real quick. So we want this to be like a brighter red. Notice how it's almost a pink, even when we drag it all the way up. Okay. One thing you can do is, let me see if I've got hue, saturation, and lightness. You can go to hue, saturation, and lightness. You can pull the lightness down some, and that's going to give you a little bit more vibrant of a color. Okay. You can put it all the way down. You can make it totally white, but that's going to take off some of the detail. And you can also move the saturation around. Anyway, so what that is for, and what you can do there is that's going to allow you to adjust the different the different tones to make it darker or lighter. So I'm going to go ahead, get out of that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the original. There we go. So that's going to be your default colors. And then if you want to change these lines here, the yellow lines that you see, or you want to change the purple background to whatever color you want, whatever color combination. So, alrighty. And that can be used, let's say, in conjunction with chalkboard. Okay. And again, I'll show you what the vector mask looks like so that it all is contained inside of this box here. So let me go ahead and turn that off. Okay, lacrosse. Okay, lacrosse has this rectangle here. Okay, you can turn that off and on. All right, and you can actually adjust the stroke on that as well. Okay, it's got 2 strokes, so you can turn it red, or you can turn this one a different color as well. Okay, and that one I believe has a multiply blend mode. You can make it normal if you want. Okay. All right, and so and you can turn that off as well. Okay, so that might be what you have. I did have a suggestion to do a boys and girls racket, but I really couldn't. I really couldn't create with AI. I couldn't create the difference between the two of them. So this one's kind of in between. So we got soccer. Okay, and keep in mind too, you can use other. Let's just say football. Okay, you can use that one for soccer as well because they play on the same field. Okay, you got rafters. Okay, if you did want to add a color mask to that, if you don't know how, you just simply go to this little icon down here, click solid color. Okay, pick the color that you want. We're going to go with red, and then just do a clipping mask. Okay, right on it. Oh, you know what? Let me do that one again. I'm going to bring that down to here, and I'm going to create a clipping mask, and then we're going to go to overlay, and now you've got red. And you can actually reduce the fill on that to make it a little bit more muted, but that gives you an idea of what that looks like there. So you got rafters that can be used for, you can use it for swimming, you can use it for basketball, you can use it for basically anything that is done in the gym, you can use it for volleyball. Pretty versatile one there. Swimming, we have some water splashes. Okay, and you can adjust the hue and the saturation. You can adjust the color a little bit if you know how to do that as well. That's something you'll just have to do yourself. Torn leather dark. Okay, and that works the same way. We can always bring this mask down here. Okay, and go to create clipping mask, and now we got it in red. But let's say we wanted it to be a little bit more muted, then we can go to a few different looks here, find something that we like. Well, let's go, so we can go, let's just say there. Then you can always drag it down, and now you're a little bit lighter, so, okay. So that's just kind of a torn leather look. That can be used for any number of sports too as well. You got a torn leather light, okay. And we got one for tennis here. And let's go into track. Okay, track again has the color overlay. And again, you can kind of see with the track, it is a little bit offset from the top, and I'll show you that in a minute. Wrestling, okay. Wrestling has not only the color overlay, right? Unless you want to, if you want to go black, you can always go, you want to go blue or orange, or whatever color you want. All right. And then the wrestling lines are actually separate, and you can drag those up and down. Okay. All right. So that's how wrestling look. Volleyball. Okay. Volleyball, there's a little bit more to it with the volleyball. You got the 2 nets or the net going underneath. All right. You can turn that off and on. Okay. You got the volleyball there in the middle. Okay. And then this circle, all right, it does have a color mask to it. So you can change the color according to your team. Okay. or you can actually just go ahead and do, let me see here. Okay, you can just do the wood floor as well. And that also works for basketball. You can do the same for basketball. So those are the screen backgrounds you have for the iPhone or for the cell phone look. And I'm gonna show you how to apply that here in a minute. And then underneath all this, you have the balls and elements. Okay, so you got the basketball, got a football. Okay, you have golf, you have a hockey puck, the lacrosse ball. Okay, you can make it red, you can make it whatever color you want, or you can leave it white. I don't know much about lacrosse. Soccer. Okay, you got a tennis ball, you got a volleyball, and you got wrestling shoes. Now, one thing you have to notice here is that the balls do come with the shadow underneath, and I'll show you kind of why we have that here in a second. So let's go ahead and take a look at our charged up template and how to go ahead and add these. Okay, here we've got our charged up template. It's kind of the base files for it. And I'm going to show you how to go ahead and just simply take the files from the charged up, the vertical files for the background for the iPhone. And I'm going to show you how to go ahead and apply those. It's really, really simple. All we need to do is decide on which sport you're going to go with. Okay, so we're going to go into here. And let's just say we want to do, let's say, okay, cheer. Okay, so we're going to take this cheer and we're going to copy it. Okay, we're going to go into here, and the easiest thing to do is basically go into that layer, go underneath where your player is going to be, and then we're going to go into paste, paste in place. Okay, and we're going to drag that up. Okay, all right, apply that. Now we're going to take our cheerleader and boom, right in there. Okay, so pretty simple, and we've also got the date back there. Okay, you can do senior class, you can do team name, however you want it. So that kind of gives you the look there. All right. Now, what you can also do too is we're going to paste it in. We're going to paste that in again. Okay, and we can take that and we can apply that underneath the phone. Okay, let's go back into here, into background options. Okay, so now that's back there. And we can apply that way as well. Okay. So any of the screen backgrounds that are used for the phone can be used for the overall background that we have as well. All right, so we're going to take that, we're going to turn that off. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and find another one. Okay, we're going to go into the vertical there, and we're going to turn off cheer. All right. So let's just say we want to do an American flag. Okay. We're going to go into copy, and we're going to go into paste. Okay. Now what we want to do, I'm actually going to go here, and I'm going to go paste right into there. There's our American flag. Drag that up. Okay, accordingly. Now some of the backgrounds might be a little bit busy to see where, as far as being able to see the 2025 or any of that. You can also add a drop shadow to that to make it stand out a little bit more. You can add a stroke to it with a drop shadow. It's pretty simple. I'm actually going to show you that right now. Let's say if we want that to stand out a little bit more, we're going to add a stroke to it. And let's just say we'll add that stroke to it. Okay, drag that down a little bit. Then we're going to add a drop shadow. Okay, opacity, bring the size down just a little bit. So now that stands out a little bit more. You can even do a bevel and emboss to make it stand out even more. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what can be done to make that stand out a little bit better. Okay, so we're actually going to turn this off for now. And let's just say, what do we want to do here? We want to put a, let's say, softball player there. Okay. So now we got the softball player. right? And again, you can paste the American flag and drag that all the way into the background. So you can use that one for a background as well. Okay, so we're going to try another one here. I'm going to turn those off. Okay. Okay, so let's try doing the soccer one. Okay. And here, so soccer is going to be right there. We're going to copy that. We're going to go into our file. Okay, and we're going to paste that in place. All right, we're going to drag that up. All right, so there's soccer. And I'm actually going to drag a soccer player over here. Okay, so now we got a soccer player. Okay, and then what we can also do, if we go back, okay, all right, we can, hang on one second here. Okay, so give me a second. I'm going to drag that soccer player back in there. I don't know why he disappeared, but he did. Okay, so we can do that there. All right, and then we can resize him if we want. Okay, if you want to see a little bit more of that soccer ball in the back. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and apply that. Now, we can also take this, again, let's move it behind there. You can kind of see that this would be really busy if we had all of those in that layer. Okay, so we're going to take this one and put it into the background. Okay. All right. So we're going to raise or increase the size on that. And you can do it that way too. If you want to, you can leave it with kind of more of the generic background as well. And if you want to change a color, there's a color mask for that. We have a jersey background, right? Change a color mask for that as well. Okay. Now, you'll notice there's a lot in here. This is just kind of my generic file that I use to do this tutorial. You don't have to load up everything in here. So, all right. So we're going to try another one here real quick. Actually, what I want to do is explain the vector mask. You'll see right here, there's a vector mask, right? On this layer, everything you want in the screen of the phone is going to go into this group right here, inside this vector mask. So you got this soccer player. Okay, let's turn him on. And you got the soccer background. So if you move that around, it's going to stay within the vector mask. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Right, same thing with the player, right? Move him around, right? Now these items, these app items, player name, all that, those are outside of the vector mask. So they're different layers, but you can kind of keep them within just by keeping them in the frame of the phone right here. So, okay. So let me go ahead and I'm going to show you, let's take the torn leather look. Okay, let's go with the torn leather dark. We're going to copy that. We're going to paste that. Okay. And that is, where is that? Okay. So I got that turned off. So I need to move that down into this group. Okay. Remember this player, what is it? What is the name on that? Player and phone screen options. That's where everything is going to go. So we're going to go beneath the soccer player there. We're going to raise this or increase the size of this. Okay. Drag that there. Okay. Now we got a cool little look there. And you can always add, hang on one second. You can always add a solid color overlay. And then we're going to go into here. And here you don't really even need to use a clipping mask, just simply because everything is going to stay within the vector mask as well. So, all right, I'm going to turn that off. So you can kind of see how this works. It's basically going back and forth from your vertical screen layers into the template itself. Now, what you can do is you can create separate files for soccer, a separate file, save this file for football. That way, every time you use football, it's set up for football. It's up to you. It's up to the amount of memory you have on your hard drive. So it's pretty versatile. Again, I did this really to make it easier so that layer didn't have 100 different layers in it, that group, this group right here. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the more of the team ones. Give me a second here. Let's actually take a look at something else real quick. I forgot to go over. Let's go back into here, and we're going to have the balls and elements in here. So we're going to go and we're going to copy this, copy it. Okay. Now I want to add that ball into this file. So we're going to just find, this is kind of where the softballs and everything are. We can go, you can actually put it in here. You can just drag it on top of everything. So we're going to go into here. We're going to go paste into place. Now we got the soccer ball, and we can put that off to the side. Okay. And that's what you do with pretty much all of them. Not every single one has an element to put off to the side like that. If you want to get creative and use your own, some of them like swimming, sometimes it's hard to create graphics for certain things just because there are not a lot of elements as opposed to like baseball where you can use a bat, you can use balls, you can use a glove. Not every sport has those elements or as many elements. And then things like track has a baton, has a discus. I can't include everything. So if you want to get creative, I may, if I have some time, create a folder with more, but I'll have to let you know about that. So we're going to take a look at the team one now. Okay, so the team one basically works exactly the same as the other one. It's just the graphics are horizontal. Now keep in mind as well, there are some graphics that aren't on the horizontal image file that you can get off the vertical one and drop in. You just need to rotate them. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We have basically the same setup. These are all alphabetical order. Okay, makes it easier for you to go through them. And let's just say you wanted to find the basketball one. Okay, so we're going to take the basketball one. The basketball one's a little bit different than the vertical one just because of format or layout issues. So we're going to copy this one, and we're going to go into the team one. And then let's go. Remember, everything that you want inside this screen is going to be in the player and phone screen options layer. Okay, so we're going to go right there. And we're going to paste the basketball background. All right. Oop. Let me fit on screen here real quick, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. Okay. So let's go ahead and take that basketball one and drag that up. Now remember, you can drag it up as big as you want, or you can increase the size as big as you want because it's going to stay inside that vector mask. Okay. All right. And it is exactly the same process no matter what file you're putting in there. So let's just say you want to put the cheer one in. Okay. Copy it and paste it. Okay. And here again, you don't have to be perfect, right? Because it all stays within that frame. Okay. Now, originally this was all for softball and baseball, so it has the baseball background to it. So then let's just say you wanted to go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to go into the background options. Okay. And we're going to turn off the scorebook pages. Okay. So now you got a little bit more of a generic look, or you can turn on the jersey one, whatever applies for that particular sport. Okay. All right. So here we've got cheer, and let's see what else we can grab. Okay, we're going to turn cheer off. You got a daytime one with the sky and the fence that you can use for a couple different ones. You can also use your own if you have your own football for the horizontal has several different ones. Okay. And again, if you want to use them, use them. If you don't, then don't. Got the gym rafters. All of these have been set up for the vertical format. Okay, so I've had to do a lot of adjusting. So like you see golf, golf, this is more vertical. This is for the vertical one. It's the same graphic, but it's vertical. Some of them I had to change the vertical graphic into something different because it just didn't fit layout wise. All right, so, and then in here we got just generic grass, got grass with a line, hockey. We got the jersey look. Okay, oh, let me turn it back on. Yep, there we go. Okay, so you got a bunch of them in here. It's the same process as the other one, just a different layout. So when you go ahead and drop into there, you just resize it however you want. If you want to make it bigger, smaller, again, everything stays within that vector mask. So with each one of these two, if you want to add whatever balls you want to put in here or elements, you can as well. So other than that, that is pretty much how everything works. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any suggestions for the video, I'm still pretty new at these tutorials, so you know, bear with me as I get a little bit better over time. And if you do have any questions, oh, one thing I did want to show here real quick, when we do drop in an image, so let's say want to drop in the track image. Okay, so we got track right here. We'll copy that, go into here, and we're going to go into, paste that into place. Okay, turn it on. Okay, remember when I talked about why they were offset? Okay, it's because you got this little element on the phone right up here. Okay, so I figured, well, to keep them kind of centered, and it's going to be true of a couple of the different graphics. So other than that, thank you for purchasing. Like I said, if you got any questions, let me know. I know there's a lot to this, but a lot of people asked, and if you include one sport, you kind of have to include them all. So I'm sorry if I don't have bobsledding, frisbee golf, or curling. Didn't think that those would apply. So just let me know what you think, and thanks again.